Right, perfect.
And we're live. Um, it is just Michelle and I today. So stand up part will hopefully be short. There might be some Kiln discussions and essentially code discussions in stand up since there's no one else is here and we're not taking up anyone else's time. Um, yeah, given that, Michelle, would you like to start? Do you have anything other than the code discussions to bring up?
Um, well, I mean, we worked a little bit on discussing options for the income module
Yes.
that you might, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I can.
And other than that, I think not. I had something the other week, but I've forgotten it since then. So, yeah.
Okay. It'll pop back up if it needs to. Um, cool. Yeah, the only things I have are um, did I have essentially have just been like slowly wrapping up things that have been on my plate for a while. I wrapped up a PDF auto field detection PR that had been sitting there for a while. It's still in a PR, but mostly I want to make sure get David or Quinn to take a quick look at it, then I'll merge. Since they're essentially using it. And doing some stuff with the affidavit of indigency supplement, which is why I had been working on the income module, which I am opening right now. Hello, Caroline.
Morning.
Hello.
Yeah, so, this Caroline, this might be relevant for you. Since I know you, I think that one point I remember hearing someone say that you were going to be using the income module.
Yes, in fact, I'd like to see if I can get Michelle this Sunday to work with Michelle on it this Sunday. I don't know what your schedule's like. But
I can make something Sunday.
and if it Sunday doesn't work, but I'm going to start focusing on it because I have a meeting with the people who are doing, it's called this child support affidavit. It's in Alaska. It's very much like the worksheet that Hayden just did. But what would be really cool is if we can get the income module working, because they're doing it in Documate. And what I really want to do is, jump the gun and get it done. Say, oh, well, we can do it in DocAssemble, and then people can just put in their, the whole thing. So, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work because there's a forms department. I'm not in the forms department. The forms department is 2 people. But I've been trying to so anyway, I'm hoping to kind of really dive into that with both feet. But I have to get this other stuff finished, whatever. Anyhow, but I'm going to that meeting. I think it's September 7th. So I was thinking to try and get my head back in the game with the thing. So anyway, what I kind of came in at the end of what you guys were talking about.
Yes, sorry. Well, we came in actually close to the beginning. All mostly that I've been doing stuff with the affidavit of indigency supplement in Massachusetts, which is
great.
Which is the big long one that actually has like all these assets and stuff.
Yeah.
And mostly to do that, like I fixed a few bugs in the income module, which is what I was sort of showing the recording. And I don't think there's a ton of stuff. There's like a lot of other stuff that I'm sitting on that I'm trying to figure out is like what's the best way
for the supplement, you mean?
Yeah, like essentially like the AL income module, it's like there and it sort of works, but I'm not sure like this is like whichever one of our interviews gets done will be like the first one that actually uses it. And so I'm trying to like write some like default questions and add some extra features to things, but I'm not sure if I'm like using it
because I'm just trying to think because there's quite a bit of overlap between the financial statement and the affidavit of indigency supplement.
Mhm.
And I can't remember which ones they are. So one of the things is I think the supplement asks for amounts in a monthly period. That's one difference. So the financial statement is weekly, supplement is monthly. And then the other thing is there are some expenses that are listed in the financial statement that are not listed in the supplement. And it seems
Okay.
to me it's hard sometimes for people to come up with their expenses. You know what I mean? We have, we say, is that you have what expenses are, list them. But what's really helpful is to say, do you have this? Yes or no? And if
Yeah.
yes, what it is. So what I did back in the day is I took I think they were some of the expenses from the supplement and added them to the financial statement and wrote them in the blanks in the financial statement. And then there are a couple of things, I think there are a couple of things in the financial statement that are not in the supplement. And so I put them in I did put them in the supplement. So
Okay.
that way people, even though those expenses are not explicitly listed on the two forms, they help people think, oh yeah, I've got this, and I think that's what it is.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Sorry, just pulling this up just
Yeah,
to
that's
make it
really
like more
helpful.
clear what
So
we're
this is a
talking about.
financial statement, right? Or is this a supplement?
This is the supplement.
This is a supplement. Okay.
Yeah, the financial statement, if I remember correctly, the financial statement was like just a docx that you wrote. Was it a thing we
Oh,
had gotten?
no, that financial statement,
That's a different
Lily
one.
did
Okay.
it, and I started to work on it with Michelle. And that's
Okay.
where
Okay.
we refined the income module. But I'm thinking we could do the expenses in a similar way to the income. And because that's what I had, we did this work and I thought, oh, great. And then I thought, why don't we do the expenses the same way? Because we know we have this list and then you can add another. And
Mhm.
so Bryce, if you want to look at the financial statement, it's a PDF,
Mhm.
and you can just do Massachusetts financial statement. And
Okay.
you can see there's a list there of expenses. So for example, this, I don't think this education expenses for children is on the financial statement, but I
Mhm.
can't remember. There's some other stuff on the financial statement that, and maybe it doesn't make any sense. Gas, oil, water, electricity. Well, what's nice is they pull these all out specifically.
Mhm.
I mean, and the other thing that I did kind of, off my own bat is that I also I had a question about asking for heat, because if you heat so say you have wood or kerosene, and there are still people in Massachusetts who heat with wood and kerosene. And that
Mhm.
is that people don't necessarily know to use that. Now the supplement is not maybe so critical as the financial statement for that, because people with a supplement, typically their incomes are over $75,000 if they're doing the supplement, or they have, there's some other.
It's over. I think it's a
Some,
125% of poverty level, which is a lot lower, right? I thought that's like 30,000.
it depends on the household size.
Oh, household size. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't, so basically if they're not getting any benefits, and so a lot of people can be getting Medicaid. So if they're not on benefit, then they're
Mhm.
going to fill this out. That most legal aid clients don't have enough money to do the supplement. So
Gotcha. Okay.
but anyway, but I think heat is a good question, because do you heat, do you use any of the, like, how do you heat your home or something like that? Or do you pay for heat, and what do you heat with? And if they don't heat with any of these, then you can catch the wood or kerosene amount. And you know how people are with forms. If the thing isn't there, they're not going to think to list it probably.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so, and there's there's some other stuff that you might just look at. Financial statement expenses are like 3 columns of things. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's okay. That's actually a really good idea, and at least for like, because yeah, I do catch most of these, but I wasn't sure. I still just have like them on a whole bunch of screens, and then at the end, it's just asking.
but
So that's
so
that's a
I think
really good point.
helpful is is to say is to categorize it into groups, like utilities or
yeah.
something like that, and then you have check boxes, and so basically, and you can do the whole thing with the show if, right? So you know,
Mhm.
do you have any of these, click any of the expenses of these expenses you have. If you have them, how much and how often do you pay for them, So that way each one doesn't have its own screen.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes that makes sense. That's also I think the existing
Oh, I see. Okay.
someone had
Mhm.
started this form, but it was on like it was from like mid 2020, and so
Yeah.
like not like it's not on other stuff, and so
Yeah.
I definitely just took that from the existing form because it was a pretty good idea.
Bryce, are
Okay,
you thinking you're going to use that sort of X generic thing for this, just like we did for the incomes?
so that's what I was trying to figure out, because I don't know I couldn't figure out a good way to group it while doing the X generic stuff because I figure if you want to group it, you would want pretty manual control over like which ones you're looking at, and
Yeah,
that doesn't play super well with.
I'm trying to think because Michelle and I did, we did group it, didn't we, Michelle, with the income?
We did use the generic object.
Yeah, we used the generic objects, but we also had we already had a dictionary of oh no, it wasn't, was it that, or was it the deductions from the income? Wasn't the deductions from the income that we did? So we knew there was a certain list. That's what we did.
I think
Are
it was
these
other sources of income was the, do you have another one?
is
If
that
that's
what these
you're
are?
asking.
Those are, I haven't got my glasses on. I can't see.
Sorry, I can zoom
Can
in.
you make it a little bit bigger, Bryce?
Of course, yeah.
Um,
Because
yes,
in the
I think
income
that's
module, there
right.
are some of these lists, like
Yeah,
predefined lists of things. Okay.
yeah, I think that is right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had this already, this existing list, but I guess what you're saying, I'm not sure we broke, I can't remember if I broke that down into screens or not, different, because I think we did, I don't remember how, but because you have things like investment income, and then you have, benefits income or something like that.
Yeah. There are assets. Yeah, I haven't.
Well,
I don't know
assets
if that
are
was in.
different, right? Assets aren't
Mhm.
income.
Yeah, design. That's true.
Maybe it's not in the module. Maybe I just used it in my, maybe I just
YAML?
used in my YAML, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I pushed the last one to GitHub. So I'll look for that.
Yeah, no, that would be super useful because that was a thing I was like, yeah, this is what I have right now on the affidavit agency is not super like what I want to have. Like,
Yeah,
this is the best way I had of grouping it, and I was going to try and simplify it to just like, oh, pass us this list of things you want. But
right.
there's definitely a better way to do it. So I'd love to see what you ended up doing there. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be great.
Cool.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we don't have to talk about this for too much long. Mostly. Okay, it's good to know that you will want to try and start it soon, so I can merge at least the bug fixes,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I'll at least like make a branch with some of the changes that I've made with like trying to add like a few generic questions, and if you want to, when you're working on it, you can just look at that particular GitHub branch instead of main, or if you just sort of also want to do stuff with main and make your own changes, then we can figure out a way to combine those.
Okay.
What's your branch name?
I don't have a branch name yet. It's
this
one. This one's income bugs, and it's going to be merged, and all of the other changes I have are still sort of sitting locally.
Okay. Oh, I'm a reviewer. I should look at that then.
You're a reviewer. Sorry, I did add you as a reviewer.
Okay.
Just because we had talked about some of this stuff yesterday. But And the only big bug was that total wasn't working because it was just iterating over the wrong thing. But that was once I figured that out, it was an easy fix, and everything else was just adding a lot of structure around it to hopefully prevent more bugs.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that's mostly all I had there. Was there
Except for
other
the
things?
decimal thing.
Yeah, and the decimal thing too, which is arguably kind of minimal for the. It was necessary for unit tests, but it is arguably kind of minimal for like actual users.
Yeah.
Possible for users, but minimal. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
if we want to look at that.
Going thinking of this, do we have, I remember this came up at one point and I don't know where we got with it. So if users want to put numbers in with commas, can they do that, or do they have to put in the number without the comma?
And like a currency, you mean?
Yeah.
My interview is broken right now, I think, so I can't pull it up super quick. Is it still broken? It's still broken. I can add something super quick because I think I don't remember. I think it might try to error out. I have tried, and if you add too many decimal points or something, then DocAssemble just ignores all of the other ones outside of like the first, like the cents, like the first 2 decimal points. But I don't.
Bryce,
you know.
you're talking about decimal points. I'm asking about commas. Is that the same?
No.
He's
Well,
just
yes.
saying it might do. He's just saying it might do because it's flexible
Oh,
about
'cause it's
other stuff.
Related.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, that was what I was just trying to. I was trying to recall all of the possible things that DocAssemble
Yeah.
does with currency.
Oh, I see.
So if we do this, it should ask immediately what that is, and we'll just test it. Because that's a fairly simple thing to test. Yeah. So if I do this, so if I enter money with like, are you saying something like this, like 5, 6, or are you saying like if they did like a comma instead of a decimal or something like that?
If they do, no, so, sorry, again, it's too small for me to see. So is that 134? So if they put in, yeah, so. if
So
they put
actually, so it is actually,
134,000
it's just
comma,
taking it out.
456. If they put a comma in there, will
It
that
just takes it
work?
out actually. Yeah. So if I do this and then I like move, like click anywhere else on the page, it just automatically
okay, so
formats
that-
it.
all right. Yeah.
And I think if you do it in the wrong places, it will get mad.
Yeah.
So if I do
see what
like
you're
1,
saying.
2, 3, it'll do that. But if it does it and just like this is normally where a comma could go, it'll just get rid of it.
Okay, all right. I think that's okay then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I think that it might not handle. I know some countries and some people are probably used to entering
They
things
put
with commas.
periods instead of commas, yeah.
Yeah, or like decimals, and I don't think we can handle that. And I don't know if there's a good way or if there's like any sort of way of handling that because it's just based on what like the US locale. It's not going to try and read in every possible locale.
But the thing is, for now, everybody who's doing this is working in the US and they've got to, nothing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I'm more thinking of like users who are used to doing that and just might type it wrong. But I guess it's still just
Yeah, but they'll
say,
figure that out because they're going to have that issue anytime they're online doing, whatever they're doing.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's how
Well,
that
this is perfect timing for me. A little bit late to come into this meeting, but this is exactly what I need right now.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, good to know. But cool. So I think that's all I had done. If we still have a bit of time, I might try to explain. I've been running into some issues with, or I had been stuck on a PR for the auto kiln testing framework that I was going to try to explain to Michelle. But Caroline, if you have anything else that you would want to bring up for stand up, do that.
I am sort of in granny mode right now in terms of not sleeping as much as I thought I was going to be. So
You
I
thought you were gonna
solved
be
this problem
sleeping
this
more?
week, or got 2/3 of the way through the problem, and something happened, and I came back, and the solution wasn't there anymore.
Um,
Trying to clean up my desk, so I started trying to do it again yesterday. So at some point, I'd like to show you guys this code, and I can't think straight. But I have, you know, there's sort of these layers of ifs, nested ifs, and then the thing is, you keep getting kicked out. So in your interview order, do you ideally you set up the logic so you don't keep repeating variables like the kick out variable. You set it up so it's a little bit neater. So, you know, you sort of cluster conditions together and then kick somebody out if they, you know, if they can't. But I'm finding that I'm repeating a lot of the same variables because I can't think straight in terms of a better way to organize the logic. Do you understand what I'm saying in terms of, you know, if all these conditions are true, then this. But then if it's a different condition and these other subconditions are true, then this. And sometimes I start off with if not, because that seems to be an easier way to get, you know, than all the others. And I'm not sure, I don't know if there's a disciplined way to do this, or whether you just have to be smart enough to figure out a good way of clustering your conditions so that you're not repeating the same variables over and over again.
I think it's very personal and very specific to the situation.
Mhm.
Because there is a way, like there are various ways to do it all in one place, but that can make it more confusing depending on your use case.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
really
okay.
about, you know, the code and what you find clear,
So
right?
if
So
it's,
we could talk
yeah.
about it if you want. We
Okay.
could talk about it more.
And then I have this other piece. I don't really, I've read the, so there's Quentin's legal tech documentation, and there's the stuff, Michelle, that you were doing, that you really started in the Docusaurus, right? That's the assembly line documentation.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think it's the assembly line documentation. I've read about the AL bundle, and Matt talks about the bundle all the time. Somehow I missed the whole bundle tutorial conversation, everything. And what I'd like to do is, so this is a two-part thing. One is I'd like to use an MD so that instead of the preview, we get the MD file. It's kind of the Legal Resource Finder code does this. So your result is an MD, the .md to begin with, and then you can download it as a Word document or a PDF. I guess it's a PDF. But so I'm not quite
You do
sure with
better.
the AL bundle how to get an MD in there, A. And then B, I'm guessing I don't know if we can do, I'm guessing it's JavaScript within the .md so that you have these steps that you can, you know, click on and they expand and contract, you know,
Ooh.
accordion, like an accordion MD. I don't even know if that's possible.
That's fair. I don't
So
think
if
the
it's downloadable, then that's not possible. If it's
Well,
Markdown or
so they're two different
HTML, then
files.
we can do.
They're two different files, Michelle. So the .md, when you do an MD and a docx, you have two different, so basically you upload the docx and then you can create the MD from that, and then you can go into the MD and edit HTML in it, or edit the Markdown in it. It's not the HTML, it's Markdown. So
Markdown,
I'm
yeah.
wondering if you can do this, because you can sort of use the docx. DocAssemble creates the MD file from the docx, and then you can edit the MD and it doesn't affect the docx at all.
Yes. Yes. I'm not sure where you're
When you're
I do-
editing it, like, is it dynamic or is it you open it up and edit it in DocAssemble as a file?
Yeah, in the latter.
Okay.
I
If
mean,
you
you can
turn it
download
into-
it, edit it, and upload it, but DocAssemble allows you to edit the .md right in it, in DocAssemble. It's at the bottom of the templates.
I believe that at least if you copy paste that Markdown into the YAML, you then can add expanding sections and expanding and collapsing sections with us. Like, you can turn it into into Mako instead of Markdown.
Um,
Because MD, if you take the text of an MD, that can be in the Mako, and then you can add your own HTML.
well, okay,
Right?
I think we're spiraling out. We're talking about a lot of different things at once, though. Still,
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Okay.
So okay, wait. So the final product that you have from your Markdown file, Caroline, is something that you want someone to download, right? Like it would be downloaded as either as a docx or a Markdown file directly or something, right?
So I don't think they wouldn't download the Markdown file. They'd download either the docx or the PDF. Would probably be
Okay.
PDF.
Would
Yes.
they see the Markdown file on one of the interview pages?
Exactly. So if you go to masslrf.org and go through one of the housing ones, possibly bad conditions, you'll see at the end, you just get this HTML file. You just get HTML. You get a web page HTML. I mean, it's not. It is an MD file. Yeah. So to see that one.
Got me right. Yeah, I was gonna say I know vaguely where it is.
Okay. Oh, well, this is it. This is it right here. This is the
okay.
MD. Right here.
I see. Okay. Okay, so it does let you download it.
But when you
No, I wish
download
we
it,
could
you're
see
not
it, though.
downloading the MD file. There's already a Word file that's been uploaded. So if you go into the source of this, you know,
Can.
you can't, I guess you can't from there. I think I can share my screen. And you can see that you actually have a docx file and a separate MD file. Do you want me to?
Yeah, no, if you can, that would be useful.
Share. All right, let's see if I can get to it now. Would it be Suffolk? It would be. Oops, wait a second. Let me see if I have.
Looks like it's Mass Legal Help. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know where it's hosted.
It's hosted. It might be hosted on your thing now. Wait a minute. Oh God. Wait a minute. Oh, it's going to be on GitHub. I know it's on GitHub.
Oh, okay.
And
it looks like it's still
was going to be moved to Suffolk. I don't know if Quentin's moved it over there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the live version isn't. It might be on Suffolk servers, but I don't know if it's.
Yeah. Now, why isn't it remembering anything here? Let's see. I don't know if this is right. I'm screen sharing and oh, here we go. Get this Zoom thing out. Let's see if this works. Oh, for goodness sakes. Device verification.
Oh, jeez.
All right, verify. Do I have to? We just sent your via all these things. Okay. Sorry about this.
All good.
You want to?
We are streaming unlisted for this very reason.
Okay.
Okay, so if you'd like to
like
automatically verify devices, you just, what am I doing here? Visit.
Copy the verification code. It's up a
Here
little
it is.
bit.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
Yep.
Too many words I can't read.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go over to, wait a minute. I think it's this one, right? Here it is, DocuSign. Should I just give you this thing? You can. I think this is probably public.
Yeah, that's public.
Chat. Where's the chat? Oh, here it is. There we go. So if we go into, come on, Caroline, you know how to do this.
Is it in the master branch? Yeah.
Yeah. So see, there's an MD file for every docx. And in fact, the MD is slightly different from the docx. I think in some of them, there's even different language.
Oh,
But the way the YAMLs work in this, some students at Suffolk started this. Lily
Mhm.
picked it up, but the way they built these is not, it's very codey, you know, and
Okay.
so I kind of just went with
went
what
along,
worked
yeah.
rather than, I don't really understand it all. So, because you can see here, you've got the regular YAML, you've got this attachments YAML, and you've got the output, and everything is code, everything's code. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. I am understanding a bit more of what's happening. I thought you were, yeah, that makes sense.
So that's the way they do it. So I know that there are MD files and they're docx files, and they're separate they're not even related to it. Well, I guess they are related in that they have the same name, right? So
Yes.
the MD file has a name .md, the docx file has an identical name .docx, but internal, that's how they're related, just by their file names. But the content of them, they could be completely different. One could be about family and one could be about housing. It doesn't matter as long as the
Yeah.
names are the same.
Mhm.
And that's, I guess, where the connection with the download is. So my first question, apart from the whole accordion, operations, is how do I do an MD file? I'm assuming that's what I really want to do in the end. I want to have people get to the end. So let's see if I can do this. Is this the information you want? No. I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here, this is sort of the outcome. This is the way it works now. And this is A to J author, but this is the behavior I'd like the doc assemble to be able to do. So you click on this step 1, and then you get this. So you saw the housing, the legal resource finder. So basically you're in your interview and you have your results right there on a web page. And then if you want to download it, I don't know where you download it. Oh, print your plan. Right.
I see. It would just pop up at the end.
Yeah. So that is the,
I mean, you can just make this markdown in your YAML instead of making it a
instead of an
.md.
MD file.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
that would be what I suggest.
I think that's a great idea. I did think about that, but I wasn't sure. So if I do that, and then I can skip the preview for the PDF. I can just, basically this is so this would be a YAML page. I mean, you know what I mean, a screen in the
Mhm.
YAML file. And then we would just say, if you want to download it, then you'd skip the preview screen from the assembly line, and somehow we just skip a lot of the stuff that's already built into the assembly line and just be able to print or download.
You
Yeah.
just don't ask for those variables,
Right.
or you set them to true, right? Like,
Yeah.
you just give them a value.
Yeah.
Just start deleting things.
Okay, so then my final question, I think I know the answer to, is when you say you set them to true, when you do the interview order, that's the one place where you actually do an equation, right? You know how we don't do the logic in the interview order, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have its own code block, but if you're trying to, shortcut and get to so basically you do a kick out screen, then you can say whatever that final variable is complete in the interview order, right?
You can, or you can delete it and see if it goes away, which is maybe a little better because it's maybe
What
a
do you
bit
mean by
more clear.
delete? What do you mean by
Delete the
so if it-
line.
Delete the line. So if it says preview, blah, 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 right? If you have my variable and you don't want to see that screen, you can try just deleting that variable and the screen won't be triggered.
Oh, it's more in the, I just want to go to the kick out screen. you see what I mean? So in your interview order, if you go to the kickout screen,
In that case, you say if needs to be kicked out, and then you do the variable for the kickout screen, else show the preview or whatever.
all right. And you don't keep going. So I guess that's the thing, you don't keep going. So you do if,
Not if it's in the else, and not if it doesn't have any continue buttons, because the user just can't continue.
oh, so if I do this little YAML screen, I got it.
And you make it an event instead of a variable.
That's
right?
it. That's it. It's the event. That's right. That's what,
Okay. That's where you, yeah.
yeah,
Got it.
that's where the gap happened. Right. Of course.
No worries.
My God, I just feel so stupid. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cool. So I think if that's, was there anything else you?
No, that's
would-
me.
I think
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
the bundle was a bit, I wasn't sure if you were done talking about the bundle. but
Well,
that's
I
all
don't need the bundle if, because I'll use the bundle for the Word doc / PDF.
Got it.
And I don't have to worry about the MD file in the bundle now because
right. Yeah.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
YAML screen. So
All
that's
right. Perfect.
great.
Great.
Cool. In that case, I think we're all done here for stand-up stuff.